From WCNC Charlotte, NBC6. This is 6 News Nightcast.
Tonight's big local story, the first major cold front of fall means temperatures in Charlotte could drop 40 degrees by the end of the weekend. Good evening, I'm Cara Finstrom. Our highs today in the 80s may soon be replaced by lows in the 40s. The cold front moving in right now means you'll want to pull out those sweaters and jackets tomorrow. Meteorologist Brad Panovich has the latest on the Queen City's cool down from our SkyMax Weather Center. Brad.
Well, Cara, the rain showers we've seen out there this evening are the signs of that front pushing through the area. And by tomorrow, temperatures only in the upper 70s, but that's the beginning of the cool down towards Monday morning. Let's show you live SkyMax Doppler radar first, and you can see what's left of the showers. Pretty much not a lot. They're all pushing up towards the High Point, Greensboro area, pushing away from Charlotte Metro. This is actually the prefrontal trough, which is pushing through the area right now. As we widen back out, you'll see into the mountains. This is the actual front. Now, as we show you what's going to happen this week on the weather graphics, back on Weather 1 here, we'll show you that there's a cold dome of air up in Canada. Now, over the next couple of days, this first front will push through, cool air coming down, but reinforcing shots of cold air will come down. And by Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday morning, we'll see 30s in the mountains, 40s down into the Piedmont. That can mean the first frost or freeze of the season for the higher elevations. We should be okay for many of those conditions here in the Piedmont, but definitely the coolest air of the season so far. Coming up in weather, we'll tell you how long it'll last and what you can expect for the Panthers game tomorrow afternoon. Cara?
All right, thanks, Brad. Well, you can get the latest updated weather forecast by logging onto our website. There you'll have access to live SkyMax Doppler radar, and you can find out what's ahead in the 5-day forecast. It's all just a click away on NBC6.com. 6 News is learning more about the National Guard troops who this weekend received new orders to deploy to Iraq. Some of the men and women from North Carolina heading overseas are from within our viewing area. Soldiers from Charlotte, Statesville, Monroe, Belmont, and Wadesboro are all being called up, along with many others. NBC6 reporter John Romero has new information on the deployment. That's all new at 11 tonight.
Well, I'll tell you, Carl, you just saw members of North Carolina National Guard's 30th Enhanced Heavy Separate Brigade are drawn from all over the state, but starting on October 1st, they'll be together again, mobilized and eventually heading their way towards Iraq, a hostile environment with near daily attacks and continuing instability that will put our state's troops in the line of fire.
We've been preparing for a long time. We're ready to go. Ready to go, but the question now, whether these 3,500 North Carolina troops will be ready for hostile territory. A spokesman for the National Guard. What I can tell you is that we're trained, we're equipped, we're ready to go do the mission, whatever that mission happens to be. I'm proud to be an American. Yesterday in Raleigh, the task was as clear as it was painful. Many of the 30th saying goodbye to their families and hello to their lives as soldiers. They are a mechanized armor brigade with M1 tanks, and they have Bradley fighting vehicles and Paladin howitzers. It's a heavy artillery punch that the brigade, known as Old Hickory, could bring to help restore order in Iraq, where terrorist attacks and rising costs have led to questions about America's involvement, a luxury troops don't have. We are simply the soldiers that go out and do the job. We do the mission that's directed to us to do. The unit has trained this summer in a desert environment. They got word in July they may be headed to Iraq, and now it's time to go. We've got some of the, in terms of North Carolina soldiers, some of the best soldiers in the military.
So 3,500 North Carolina soldiers heading over with the 30th, as well as an extra 1,300 from West Virginia, Illinois, and New York. 4,800 soldiers all together answering now the call to duty overseas. Everyone, of course, wishing them luck and a safe return. For 6 News, I'm John Romero.
Charlotte-Mecklenburg police are now searching for a man who robbed a bank and a supermarket in broad daylight. He held up the Bank of America branch inside this Harris Teeter store on Prosperity Church Road just before 2 this afternoon. He also robbed one of the Harris Teeter cashiers. Police say the man was armed, but no one was hurt. Witnesses saw the man driving an SUV, possibly a Chevy Tahoe. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers. 2 bodies found yesterday in Lincoln County have now been identified as 2 missing boaters. Divers had spent days searching for Robert Perkins and Bobby Dennis. A fisherman reported the pair missing when they failed to return to shore. One of their bodies was found around 3 yesterday afternoon. The other was found several hours later. 15 Charlotte-Mecklenburg police officers who've been helping areas hit by Hurricane Isabel are back home tonight. The group left Charlotte last Sunday to lend a hand in Elizabeth City, one of the cities hardest hit by Hurricane Isabel. In addition to safety concerns from all the debris and all the flooding, massive power outages have made the communities more vulnerable to criminals. So the CMPD helped officers there deal with the heavier workload.
On Wednesday, we were able to let some of the Elizabeth City police officers actually have a day off. They had been working 12-hour shifts since the hurricane.
New estimates released today give us a better idea of how much Hurricane Isabel will cost us. City governments along the coast and electric co-ops are now reporting damages of more than $55.1 million. Well, home and business owners hit hard by Hurricane Isabel are out salvaging what they can, and health experts are now fanning out in storm-ravaged areas to warn them of some unseen health dangers. When Hurricane Isabel hit Alexandria, Virginia last week, a 9.5-foot storm surge poured into homes and businesses there. Cities all along the coast, including here in the Carolinas, flooded. And while the water has receded, some of the dangers that came with it have not.
The bacteria can cause acute respiratory infections. But more importantly, probably for most people, is the mold and mildew that's left behind, which can set off very dangerous allergic reactions.
Many businesses have been forced to replace everything flooded by water in order to prevent illness. A company that performed maintenance on the Air Midwest flight that crashed in Charlotte no longer wants to work on that airline's planes. More on that story from the 6 News follow-up file. Flight 5481 crashed at Charlotte Douglas in January. 21 people were killed. Vertex Aerospace, which used to be called Raytheon Aerospace, says their work for Air Midwest will stop around November 16th. The Charlotte Observer reports the decision was influenced by Air Midwest attempts to blame Vertex employees for the crash. Vertex says the Air Midwest business was unprofitable. South Carolina drivers have a new choice, and it means they won't have to put up with as many long lines at the DMV office. We'll explain. Plus, testimony is thrown out, a new twist in the murder trial of novelist Michael Peterson, the latest as we cross the Carolinas. Then, this isn't rush hour traffic that you're taking a look at here. Coming up, find out how you can avoid it in your commute.
After 19 years of answers, I've left the studio and hit the streets to see if anyone has some good questions for me.
Does he really know all the answers?
Who does his suits?
He's so serious sometimes.
Ooh, sorry.
I think he's an excellent host.
I think he's a great guy.
Correct.
You're not him.
Who?
I think he's very handsome.
Good answer.
Does he surf?
Hey, it's more than a game.
It's Jeopardy!
Monday at 7 on NBC6.
Tonight's SkyMax weather forecast is sponsored by Dale Jarrett Ford, the undisputed price leader.
Is there something you want to tell me?
The fridge is broken.
Sears repairs all major brands of appliances, no matter where you bought them. Call or click for parts and repair services. Sears, where else?
Coming soon, it's the all-new Toyota of Lake Norman.
Located off I-77, exit 23.
Starting noon Saturday through Monday only, everything at Rhodes is on sale.
Always better, always Rhodes.
This 6 News telecast is brought to you in part by Chevrolet.
Starting with me, everything in this place.
New numbers suggest North Carolina is one of the poorest states, and South Carolina makes renewing a driver's license more convenient. But we begin crossing the Carolinas with another story from the Palmetto State. Several Democratic presidential candidates are in South Carolina today, campaigning for the first time in the South primary next February. U.S. Senators John Edwards and Bob Graham and U.S. Representative Dick Gephardt are all making appearances at football games and at party rallies. Another week of testimony has wrapped up in the Michael Peterson murder trial. Yesterday, a judge threw out the testimony of a prosecution witness. Defense attorney David Rudolph asked the judge to throw out researcher Sayami Shabani's testimony because of perjury. The judge determined he lied under oath about his credentials. Peterson is standing trial for the murder of his wife. The Census Bureau releases its annual poverty and income reports, and once again, North Carolina ranks near the top of the list. The state ranks as one of the poorest states in the nation. The average median household income for North Carolina was around $38,000. That figure puts the state near the bottom 10 states. South Carolina motorists now have the option to renew their driver's license every 10 years instead of the standard 5. The DMV says the 10-year license will cost $25, while the 5-year license will remain $12.50. The 10-year license will only be available at branch offices. President Bush and the president of Russia team up to send out stern warnings about nuclear weapons. We'll have the details in our look around your world. Then explosions ring out in Tampa, but it was not an accident. We'll explain. Plus, an in-state rivalry heats up in Raleigh. The Tar Heels looking for their first win of the season, but they're going to have to go through the Wolfpack to get it.
The Hyundai Santa Fe, a comparison. More standard features than a Ford Escape XLS, all for over $1,300 less when comparably equipped. And only the Santa Fe is protected by America's best warranty. 10 years, 100,000 miles. Looks like we have a winner. Test drive the Hyundai Santa Fe, nicely equipped for just $17,634 at your Hyundai dealer. Hurry into the Hyundai winning season clearance and get $1,000 cash back or 0% APR through September 30th.
It's the Ashley Furniture Home Store free for fall. Charlotte's best furniture values just got better. For a limited time, purchase any of these beautiful bedroom sets and receive a queen-size Simmons mattress free. Or any of these complete living room packages and receive a pair of Ashley lamps free. Or a gorgeous dining room set and receive 2 side chairs free. Plus, enjoy totally free financing till October 2005. That's 24 months free financing. It's a free for fall, and it's only at Ashley Furniture Home Store. You're gonna love these values.
Come on. Yeah, I'm still in the car. 10 minutes, an hour? I've got no idea. This is ridiculous.
Can't wait to get your new Jetta? With offers like this, why would you?
When your hectic life is in fast forward, take control with Time Warner Digital Cable. Get more choice, more control, and more convenience. Call Time Warner Cable now and get digital variety service plus 26 screens of HBO and Cinemax free for 4 months. Order now and get free installation on up to 3 digital outlets. That's a savings of up to $150. Take control of your TV with Time Warner Digital Cable. Now anything's possible.
Nobody but your Ford dealership can give you the works. An oil change, expert inspection, and a whole lot more for only $34.95 or less. And nobody beats our price in the name brand tires we sell. Like 4 select tires for only $99 or less. Hurry in for Quality Care Auto Service. Your participating Carolina Ford dealer, providing quality service at a great price for generations.
You can expect major delays on one of Charlotte's busiest roads tomorrow. At 7 o'clock in the morning, crews will continue the widening project on Independence Boulevard. They've shut down 2 lanes between Pearson Road and Sharon Amity Road. Earlier today, the work caused major backups. DOT leaders say the work should be completed before the Panther game ends tomorrow. In the meantime, they suggest using Central Avenue or Monroe Road instead. Things heat up in downtown Tampa during the taping of a new John Travolta movie, and a bus explosion sends dozens to the hospital in Pakistan. But we begin our look around the world in Maryland. President Bush and Russian President Vladimir Putin are urging North Korea and Iran to eliminate their nuclear weapons programs. Putin says Iran needs to cooperate with the UN and open facilities to inspections, but he wouldn't go as far as stopping Russia's role in helping Iran build a nuclear reactor. The leaders wrapped up their 2-day summit at Camp David today. Bush is also still trying to talk Putin into sending Russian troops to Iraq for peacekeeping efforts, but so far he has refused. At this hour, dozens of people are recovering from a bus explosion in Pakistan. A time bomb exploded on a bus in Karachi today, injuring at least 12 people. An investigation is underway, but so far no one has claimed responsibility. This is the second blast this week in Karachi. And check out this video shot in Tampa last night. More than 200 spectators gathered to see this staged propane explosion. The detonation was for a Marvel Comics-based movie called The Punisher. It'll star John Travolta. The explosion took place at a former Bank of America office that was transformed into a nightclub for the movie. Well, Brad's joining us now, and he's really been busy in the Weather Center tonight. Yeah. What's going on?
Yeah, that front came through. Not a lot of fanfare here, but there were some heavy storms just to our north, and we still saw a little bit of rain here
The big story is after the front pushes through tomorrow. Take a look at your 24-hour weather timeline. We'll start in the morning and we'll probably be around 60 degrees. We'll call it 59, but it's going to be breezy. And during the afternoon, temperatures may start out in the upper 70s, but throughout the afternoon, as cool air moves in from the north and west, we will drop into the lower 70s. And by evening into the 60s, wouldn't even rule out the possibility we'll already be in the upper 50s by the time the Panthers game ends. Now, as we take a look at the regional radar, you can see the showers, they formed ahead of the front. This is actually what we call a prefrontal trough right here that is pushing through the area. The winds have shifted to the north and west, but the real front is just about there. It's continuing to push to the east, should clear the area sometime after midnight. And when you wake up tomorrow, you'll notice some drier, cooler air filtered into the area. Here's a wider look at that front as it pushes south and east through the area. Behind it, there's cool air, so we have some instability showers. That's what you see back there, not another front. Here's the front right now in the mountains pushing off towards the east. Behind it, a dome of cold air, and it's going to continue to come out of Canada. Actually, looking up in the upper Midwest, they may see some snow mixing in with some of the rain by Tuesday and Wednesday. And of course, Hurricane Juan still well off the east coast north of Bermuda, not expected to affect the United States thanks to that strong front pushing to the east. Ahead of that front, we have southwesterly winds, and that's pushing any tropical systems out there away from the U.S. Temperatures right now, we're down to 64. You head to Louisville, it's 52, but up in Chicago, it's already down to 52 with some cooler readings north of there. 84 was the high today, 58 was the morning low. Over the next couple of days, we will be nowhere near that 84. We may really struggle to get into the 70s. Now, as we take a look at tonight's map, we continue to push that front through the area by tomorrow. Northwest and northerly winds bringing in cool air. Tomorrow we'll call it cool as we get these reinforcing shots of colder air on Sunday night into Monday and Tuesday. That's when we'll see those very chilly mornings with lows in the 40s. As we start tomorrow afternoon, kickoff time for the Panthers, maybe in the mid-70s. Look what happens by the end of the game. Could see some 50s and 60s with 40s already showing up in the mountains. And by Monday morning, 45 when you wake up. Those kids are going to need the jacket at the bus stop, and some chilly air in the mountains. Could see some 30s up in there. So your SkyMax forecast for the mountains and foothills, could even see some 40s in the highest elevations tonight. Otherwise, temperatures by tomorrow afternoon with some sun mixing with the clouds, generally in the 60s. Tonight across the Piedmont, temperatures fall back into the 50s, near 60 degrees. Tomorrow will be in the 70s early, but those temperatures will fall back quickly into the evening hours, into the 60s. Here's the real story, your SkyMax 7-day outlook. Look at that. Monday, we're calling for only a high of 68 degrees. And then by Tuesday and Wednesday morning, this is when the higher elevations, especially those protected valleys, could see some patchy frost or even a freeze. Should be okay here in the Piedmont, but some of the cooler areas will be quite chilly with lows in the 40s. So it's that time of the year you get the heavy bedspread out, maybe crank up the heater here the next couple of days.
People actually going to wear their Panther sweatshirts to the game tomorrow.
Actually, they could, and it is October, so it's kind of right on par for this time of year.
We're not really talking about the Panthers yet today. The big talk tonight is high school football, right?
We'll get to college later in the show. We'll get to pros tomorrow. But, yeah, usually college football is king on Saturdays. But here in the Queen City today, the biggest matchup featured. A lot of the tickets still say 1 o'clock, 4:15 kickoff. Don't forget.
All right, thanks. Well, people in Charlotte get out on this sunny Saturday to help kids with Down syndrome. And up next, how a little walking is helping out in a big way.
So you're looking Dish Network, home of the lowest all-digital price in America, and watch different shows on 3 different TVs at the same time, and get over 100 digital channels plus 13 channels from HBO and Cinemax free for 3 months. So call now to get a free 3-room Dish Network satellite TV system and get over 100 digital channels plus 13 channels from HBO and Cinemax free for 3 months. Call now or visit Radio Shack or a local participating retailer.
My turn.
Introducing McDonald's new chicken breast strips. Big, juicy strips of chicken with a savory, crispy bite.
Okay, switch.
It's a taste worth stopping for.
Maybe we should just pull over. That's stupid.
Here in the South, there are a lot of things with a reputation for being screaming hot and loud. Now there's something that's building a name for being strong and quiet. The new Dodge Ram Heavy Duty, driven by an available high-output Cummins turbo diesel, engineered to turn up the power and turn down the noise. Plus, you'll get our 770 powertrain limited warranty. No wonder it's Motor Trend's 2003 Truck of the Year. Get the best values in America, only in Truckville, your New South Dodge dealer.
Today, people put on their walking shoes to help families living with Down syndrome. And this is a story we think is positively Carolina. Kids and their parents spent the afternoon at Freedom Park, and they took part in the Buddy Walk for Down syndrome. There were also plenty of rides and games for the kids. All the money raised will go to programs that support families who have children with Down syndrome. Thanks for joining us tonight. Our next newscast starts at 7 tomorrow morning. Good night.
Get news 24 hours a day. Log on to NBC6.com and our online partner, Charlotte.com.
The images you are about to see are 100% authentic. The Xterra Owners Club has no fees and no dues. All you need is a Nissan Xterra and some proof. And now it's even easier to join the club with 0.9% financing and $1,500 cash back. The 100% authentic Nissan Xterra, now with 0.9% and $1,500 cash.
I was conflicted, you know? It's a guy thing. We're at Big Lots, right? And I'm totally getting into shopping. I tried thinking about baseball, but I was just really aware of what was going on. There was this $50 Casio phone answering machine. It was $29. It was calling me, buy me, buy me. When you find the inner bargain hunter, it's powerful stuff.
Big Lots, brand names, closeout prices, happy people.
A love of closeout shopping does not lead to a love of all shopping, so don't even worry.